You see, anything you want in life, there's someone out there who has the wisdom, who has the network, who has the resources, who has the capital, who has the know-how to help you get what you want, but they won't give that to you unless they like you. So in this video, I will give you 6 psychological hacks to get people to like you very quickly. Coming in at number 6 is the paradox of liking. One of the most powerful paradoxes of human nature is that if we want someone to like us, we must like them. And it must be genuine. It can never be faked because people will pick up on it. So what do most people do when we want someone to like us? We actually try very hard to get the other person to like us. We talk about ourselves, we try to show off, we try to impress them, but all that does is turn them off. So when you're trying to prove yourself and when you're trying to get them to like you, people think you're full of yourself. People think you're trying too hard. People think you don't really care about them. So you have to do the exact opposite of what everyone else is trying to do. Stop trying to prove yourself. Instead, find ways to like the other person and they will like you back in return. Coming in at number 5 is the power of touch. And this is a research study that I found in the book Click by Ori Braffman. People were partnered up to solve some really difficult problems, but unbeknownst to those people, the partner that they had was a research assistant in this research study. Now, one half of the research assistants never touched their partner, while the other half of the research assistants touched their partner 3 different times, once on the shoulder and twice on the elbow. So now when the researchers later asked the subjects how they felt about their partners, people who were touched reported higher feelings of intimacy, trust, similarity, comfort, and warmth, just because they were touched 3 different times during an interaction. You see, we unconsciously associate touch with closeness. Even being touched for a moment makes us far more attracted to the person touching us. Coming in at number 4 is to become curious about them. Try to find out what it is that makes them who they are, what makes them unique. So when you become curious, you will always find things to genuinely like about that other person. And you will stop talking about yourself and instead focus all your attention on them. So you have to get people to talk about themselves. You see, when is your brain the most engaged? In the book Captivate, Vanessa Van Edwards talks about this research study which shows that when we are talking about ourselves is when our brain is the most engaged. So you want the other person to be the most engaged in the discussion, and that's why you want them to talk about themselves. You don't want them to talk about you. You want them to talk about them. You want their brain to be most engaged. In the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the habits is actually seek first to understand, then to be understood, which is all about becoming curious about the other person. And in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie talks about the idea that people will think of you as a great conversationalist if you just listen. If you want people to like you, listen to them. Ask them questions about themselves. The most important topic in any person's life is their own story, is their own life. So become curious about people. Coming in at number 3 is to be completely authentic. Now you might be thinking, well, this is not really a hack. Well, this is one of the most powerful hacks when it comes to getting people to like you. When it comes to being charismatic, the ultimate key is to be truly who you are. In the book Presence, Amy Cuddy talks about the idea that when we are not being authentic, our voice, our body language, our tonality, our eyes, they're all out of sync, and the other person will pick up on those non-verbal cues. They will instantly have their guards up and they will stop trusting you. They will stop liking you. On the other hand, when you are authentic, you don't have to think about aligning your voice and body language and tonality and all those things. Your true self shines through and people feel much more comfortable and at ease around you when you are being completely yourself. Think about the people you like in your life. The people you like are usually the ones who are being completely true and authentic in your presence. You see, you never like the phonies. You never like the people who are being inauthentic. And that is the key here. You have to be 100% authentic in order for people to like you. Coming in at number 2 is the Ben Franklin effect. You see, Ben Franklin was trying to get to know a very powerful figure in his town, but that powerful figure did not really like Ben Franklin. So Ben Franklin came up with a strategy. He asked him for a book. He asked him for a rare book that only the powerful person had in his possession and nobody else had it in the town. So the powerful person begrudgingly lent the book to Ben Franklin. But what happened as a result of that loan was that the person, the powerful figure, became much nicer towards Ben Franklin. Now, why did that happen? Well, when we do something for people, our brains think that since we are doing that thing for them, we must actually like them. So if you want to get someone to like you, ask them to do something for you. Ask them to do something really small for you, because when they do something small for you, they will automatically think that they must like you, and that's why they're doing this for you. In the book Influence, Robert Cialdini talks about the idea that we all like to stay consistent with our choices. So after someone has done something for you, they're much more likely to act consistent with that choice of theirs. So if they do something for you, they are much more likely to do more things for you, and as a result, they will like you even more. Coming in at number 1 is to establish rapport. In the book Awaken the Giant Within, Tony Robbins talks about the idea that we like people who are like us. You see, you don't have to adopt other people's values and belief systems, but as you know, only 7% of communication you do with other people is about the words you say. The remaining 93% of the communication happens in body language and tonality. So the easiest way to gain rapport with someone is to match and mirror them, to match and mirror their body language, their tonality, their speed, their volume, all those different things. If someone is looking down and a little depressed, well, match their body language, match their tonality, match their speed just enough to gain rapport, and then you can lead them. As soon as you establish rapport with someone, they begin to like you. So if you enjoyed these psychological hacks to make people like you, make sure to share this video with a friend, a colleague, or a family member who would love to learn about these ideas.